Welcome to the Digital Maddy Show. This is a platform where I share my knowledge on video creation, how to generate organic traffic, and how to make sales through video making. I also invite many influencers and digital marketers on the show and ask amazing questions to extract their secrets of business. Let's get started with your host. Hi, my name is Mithyl and I'm a YouTube and video creation coach, and I help aspiring video influencers to generate traffic and make sales through video making. Today we have an awesome guest on our show. She's going to speak about health, which is very much important to us, even in business or in real life. She's already into the studio. Let's welcome her. So let's welcome on our show Aruna. Let me introduce her. She is a Toastmaster. She is a nurse. She helps and she teaches nursing. Well, she is quietly a contemplative person, though not all the time, and she loves a good sense of humor. She has a favorite quote in this world for more than 20 years, and what it says as what do we live for? It is to make life less difficult for each other, given by George Eliot, and that is what she's trying to do, and hence the podcast. So let's welcome Aruna onto the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Mithyl.
Most welcome. So, Aruna, let me ask you one of my favorite questions. Can you share one of your favorite quote or a line that motivates you on a daily basis?
Yes, as I said, my favorite quote is, what do we live for if not to make life less difficult for each other? I got this quote, I first read it as a nursing student. That was more than 20 years back, and that's all I live by until this date. Yes.
Great. So, Aruna, can you share your backstory to us?
Yeah, I live here in Sydney, Australia with my husband and 3 children. I've lived here for past 16 years. I was born and raised in India. I come from a small group of island in southeast of India. So not from mainland of India. And yeah, my grandmother decided that I should do nursing. So I did nursing, and my mother was a midwife, so it was easy. I wanted to become a midwife. So I did nursing, I did my midwifery, and I came to Australia. And ever since I've lived here, I've worked here. I love nursing. I love teaching. So I teach now. I am a registered nurse. I'm a lymphatic therapist. I'm a touch therapist. I'm an oncology touch therapist. So yeah, I do like a lot of things, and I like storytelling. So I do a lot of storytelling, and hence my part in Toastmasters. So that's awesome. My life in a nutshell.
Awesome. So, Aruna, since with this entire lockdown and the deadly virus all around us, people have now realized that how health is important. So, can you share what is health basically?
Okay. Now, health, I will first give you World Health Organization's definition. It says physical, mental, and social well-being. What that means is, it is just not that you are not sick. It is but you are happy and you are healthy. Physically, you are happy. Mentally, you are happy and you are healthy. And you have good social connections. You have family and friends, and you have people that you can depend on and share with. So you are not really isolated, or you are not really feeling alone or left out. So it has 3 components: your physical components, your body, your mind, and your heart. So physically, mentally, and socially, if you are well, you are happy. So that is health. Never thought of it in so many sense, did we?
Absolutely. So, Aruna, since you love to say stories, so why do you say that every health has a story?
Okay. Every health really does have a story, because as I told you, I've been nursing for past 20 years. And most of my nursing I did during night shift. And all of us tend to get a bit contemplative. at night, we tend to think of things that we will not usually think. We get nostalgic, we think about past memories and get happy, or we think about past and get sad, or we think about future and get sad. So I have sat next to many people and heard really, their life story, and if they were sick for a long time, how and why. And somehow, because I am a storyteller, I always find connections, and I always see there is a story. In common life, we raise children and we teach them manners, and quite often we will teach them things, how to eat, how to behave, how to speak, how to walk, how to dress. But not many times we teach them how to make up their mind about something, how, if they are not sleeping, how to sleep, how to look after their health, how to choose, make the right decisions for their health now and later. And people don't know. If you dig back on their illnesses, some illnesses, as you know, we cannot control, but there are some illnesses we can, because they are acquired illnesses. And if you connect back, there is something missing or something happened. So it is, if you really look, you can really find a story. And every health has a story, either good or bad. I hope I'm making sense to you.
Yes, absolutely. So, how do we choose a great story for our health?
It is very easy when we know how. Yeah. Number one thing is to have confidence in our decision. Number one thing is to have confidence. And confidence just does not come, if you don't know. It has to come from a place of education, and it has to come from a place of understanding that we cannot control everything, but we are doing our best from what we have. Let me give you an example, right? Now, high blood pressure. We all have heard about high blood pressure. Now, sometimes we inherit it from our family members, from our ancestors. It's hereditary. We cannot say, I don't want it. But for other people, it is not hereditary. They get it from their lifestyle choices. They get it because they don't get out of their chair and go for that walk that they could. In places where you don't have nice, beautiful streets, you can just walk up and down the stairs. You can do something every day to keep physically active, that if you cannot at least totally avoid getting high blood pressure, at least you can delay the onset. Instead of getting high blood pressure in your 40s and 50s, you can get it in your 60s and 70s. And how is that possible? That is possible by making informed choices. How can you make informed choices? You go and do some research. You go and listen to people like I'm talking to you. There are so many people out there with good education materials. And, listen and follow the right thing. And many a times we know what is the right thing to do, isn't it? We know we have to go for a walk every day. We know that we have to choose the right food to eat. It's hard all the time, but sometimes we can do it. So basically, it is making informed decisions. Go and find people who can give you that informed decisions, and then listen and look at your lifestyle and say, what can I change here so I can have a better health for longer? Now we know Alzheimer's, we know dementia, we know it is a condition where we lose our mental capacity and eventually lose our physical capacity. And now we know with research and science that the diseases like hypertension and diabetes and depression, they all kind of contribute to our mental health as we grow old. So we know that if we start making healthy choices, we are in our 30s, 40s and 50s, we will have, if we live long enough, in our 60s, 70s, 80s, we will have a better health. So we can contribute to it. So number one is going and finding out what we can do. And number two is making every day a little bit more healthy choices and sticking by it.
Wow, lovely. So what can help us choose a great story for our health?
Okay, what can help us choose a great story for our health is One thing is to sit down and think about it. Mostly to sit down and think about it. Most people live long now. We have a good medical system around us that helps. We have good quality food that helps. We have good environment that helps. We are safer. So it is about thinking down and looking and thinking, what is it? What does good health look like? For me, what it would look like? Do I have any family history of any illnesses? How old am I? What can I do now? To help me later in life. What can I do? So sit down and think about it, and then think what I need to do and where will I get that information. As I said earlier, go and find this information. There are books, there is online library, there is YouTube channel, like there is podcast. My own podcast comes out this month, and there is so much information about a healthy life. So pick one thing that you like. If you like food, then pick one thing that you can modify. You know what I mean? If you like fried foods, then pick one day that you will not eat too much fried food. So make tiny choices, make informed choices, and that's how we can change the story or choose a healthy story for our health.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that insight. So, what can we do in this period of isolation to keep us healthy?
Okay, this period of isolation, it is very difficult. I am sure your audience will agree, your listeners will agree. It is difficult. It is physically difficult because we cannot go out. It is mentally difficult because it can be quite difficult not meeting people. The isolation is hard on everybody, and then it is socially difficult because we don't meet people, and we know social bonding is so important for health. So what we can do is, if you have people in your life, if you have a family, you live with a family, take some time to just close all your social media, everything, and bond with your family member. Play games and talk and tell stories. I cannot tell you how important it is to tell stories. Talk and tell stories, especially if you have children, tell stories. Physically, eat the best that you can. You don't need to always go out. India is a country of yoga. Or if you have internet options, you can go and look every exercise that you can do in confined spaces. Do it, and also is some time contemplative time where you can just sit down and dream. Just daydream. Just sit down, shut everything off, and daydream. It is so good for you. And listen to music. Do something, and have a sense of control. That make it your choice to do it rather than as if you're forced to do it. Yes.
So, since we got this opportunity of lockdown and isolation where we can be healthy all-wise mentally and physically, so how can we have a good long-term health and continue the habits that we have done now?
Okay. Long-term health, isolation is a very good way of seeing it. Would you agree? Because you have nothing more to do. So one of the things that usually will happen, I don't know if you know, here in Sydney, I'm sure there are games in India like that. Here in Sydney, we have a game, I forget what the word is now, mental blank. Basically what it is when you are on the road in a car, what we do as a family, or this is like a cultural game, you look at a yellow car. So you have to look at a yellow car, and you have to look out and continuously look out, and you call out when you see a yellow car. So you get a mark for that. So basically what it is in our mind, when we are so focused on something, we will find it. Yeah. So in our everyday life now in lockdown, if we are looking for that one thing that we really need to change, or that is niggling at the back of our head, we will find it. It may just be getting up in the morning. First thing you do, you go to the toilet, you come back, you sit on your bed, and you decide to take 10 deep breaths. So you kind of build a practice and then you do it every day at the same time. What it is what we call rewiring your brain, or building new brain circuits. If you do the same thing again and again, and you consciously do it, and you enjoy doing it, and you have a purpose why you are doing it, your brain just seems to build that connection quite easily. And then that connection becomes a conscious habit. And when it becomes a conscious habit that you want to do, you tend to continue outside. So one of the big thing you can do for your long-term health is look at what is going on, what is the one thing that you are happy to change, and build on it. And again, I said, as we spoke about health, what is health? Physical, mental, and social well-being. Find few things, one or two things in physical aspect, in mental aspect, and in social aspect that you can do and continue, that will contribute to a better health long term.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Aruna, for giving so much valuable information. So all the people who are listening to this particular video or a podcast, if they want to know more and learn more from you, is there a particular platform where they can connect to?
Yes, my own podcast is coming out this month. That is called The Story of Your Health. As you would know, it's all about stories. So it is the story of your health. There is a Facebook page on that. There's a website. The website has a lot of free training and a lot more training for your health, pain management, anxiety management, for parents, for children, health of children, health of family. So that it's all there. You can come and join in and look out. Join a members vault. Even if there is not a training that you like, just join into members vault. There is a meditation for anxiety management there, and then you just get into the system, and I'll keep you informed with all the health information that comes out in May and in further in the year.
Absolutely.
So that's where you can find me.
Absolutely. So yes, all the entrepreneurs and digital marketers and many people who are there and listening to this particular video or a podcast, health is also a vital thing, because if you won't have a health, you won't be able to make a wealth. So yes, as rightly said, thank you so much, Aruna, for being on this show and giving so much value. So I would request all the people who are listening, just go and check out all the links which are there in the description, and you can get all the info out of it. Learn it, be healthy. So since before we end this particular episode, Aruna, would you like to say something to our viewers?
Yes, good on you guys. Looks like you're in good hands. I have seen Mithyl work. He is very popular in my circles. A lot of interviews. So yes, whatever you do, you're choosing. You're working for your future, your family's future. Look after your health, and that will definitely help you look after your career. So good luck, and you are in good hands.
Thank you so much. So you were just listening to the Digital Maddy Show with your host Mithyl Dave, and we have an awesome guest, Aruna, who just shared lots of values of health. So do check out all her links. If you're listening to my video on YouTube, you can subscribe to my channel, and if you're listening to my podcast, subscribe to my podcast. Thank you so much, Aruna, for being on the show and giving awesome values.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Most welcome.